Alright, college football week 3 predictions. Last week I think I went 9-6. Not as good as I did in week 1, not as good as I wanted to do. So let's try to do a lot better this week. First game we've got is Florida State versus Louisville. Now Lamar Jackson has a lot of hype around him because of his first 2 weeks against Charlotte and Syracuse. But that's Charlotte and Syracuse. This is his first big test against Florida State. Which I don't think he's going to do as well as he did in the first 2 games. I still think it'll be a close game, but I've got to go with Florida State. I like their quarterback, DeAndre Francois. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But I think Florida State is a much better team, and I think Florida State's going to win this game in a close one. I just don't have that much trust in Louisville until they actually beat Florida State or Clemson. I don't think I'll have that much trust in Louisville. Next game, I've got Vanderbilt versus Georgia Tech. Vanderbilt's kind of the bottom of the SEC. Georgia Tech 2-0 right now. Usually they have a really good year when they're projected to do bad in the ACC. So I think they're going to have a good year again in the ACC. Might still lose to Georgia like usual, but I think they'll have a good year. I think they're much better than Vanderbilt, so I'm going with Georgia Tech. Then we have Colorado versus Michigan. I think Michigan's going to easily win this one. I think Colorado might put up a fight in the first half, but Michigan should run away with it. Then we've got Oregon versus Nebraska. Now, Oregon hasn't really played that well from what I've seen. They only beat Virginia by like 18. I expected that game to be a complete blowout, especially since Virginia lost to Richmond. Their defense really isn't that like impressing me that much, and I think Nebraska's in for a good year. So I think Nebraska's in for an upset against Oregon, and they might be ranked next week if they do and actually get that win. Then we have Alabama and Ole Miss. Ole Miss has beat Alabama 2 years in a row. But I'm just not feeling it this year. The way Alabama has come out of the gate, crushed USC, beat Western Kentucky pretty slowly, but still crushed them. I think Alabama is going to win this game, and the streak is going to end for Ole Miss. Next game, Pittsburgh versus Oklahoma State. Pittsburgh looked pretty good against Penn State. Oklahoma State last week got robbed by the referees, and then on a lucky play by Central Michigan. I think Oklahoma State's going to come out with fire, mad after last week. I think they have the talent to have a really good season. I think they're going to come out with fire and just take this one against Pittsburgh. Next game, Boston College versus Virginia Tech. ACC battle. This game's going to be really low scoring. Boston College with that good defense. But I just think Virginia Tech is a better team. Boston College, I'd like to see more offense out of them now that they got Patrick Towles, or however you pronounce his name. But we'll see. Then we've got Miss State versus LSU. I think LSU is one of those teams that is overhyped every year. But Miss State, they lost to South Alabama, and I don't really think they're going to be that good this year, so I think LSU is going to take this one. Then we have Texas A&M versus Auburn. Both teams have pretty good defenses. Auburn held Clemson to 19 points, although Clemson didn't look that great against Troy. And then Texas A&M, I didn't realize their defense was going to be that good this year. I didn't realize they had Myles Garrett. And I like their team a lot better than Auburn from the games I've watched. So I'm going with Texas A&M. Michigan State versus Notre Dame. Michigan State has been untested. Notre Dame lost a close one to Texas. I think Deshaun Kaiser is going to find a way to win this game. Notre Dame definitely needs to win this game if they even want a chance at somehow making the playoffs. And I think Deshaun Kaiser will find a way. Then I have Georgia versus Missouri. Georgia played terrible last week against, who did they play again? Nicholls State. I think they're going to rebound and crush Missouri. I don't have that much confidence in Missouri as an SEC team this year. Nick Chubb should run over their defense, have a rebound week from last week, because last week Georgia just looked terrible. Georgia should win this game. Then we have Ohio State versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma has to win this game if they want even a slight shot at making the playoffs, but I think Ohio State is the much better team than Oklahoma. I think JT Barrett's going to have a field day, and Ohio State's going to win in a close one. But nevertheless, they'll still come up on top. USC versus Stanford is next. It'd be really impressive if USC could come back 2 weeks later after getting crushed by Alabama to come back and beat Stanford, but I don't see it happening. I think Cameron McCaffrey is going to have a nice game. Who's their quarterback? Ryan Burns or something? He's going to have a nice day against that defense. I think Stanford is going to crush USC, but who knows? Crazier things have happened. Then we have UCLA versus BYU. I think this is a really tough game to call. I haven't even decided as of right now. I'm just going to go with UCLA. I think Josh Rosen's going to have a great game, and I think it's going to be one of the closer games this week. Then we have Texas versus Cal. Last game I'm predicting this week. Should be a very high-scoring game. Shane Buechele has looked very good as quarterback for Texas, and I've liked everything I've seen from him. And Tyrone Swoops looked good as well, running the ball against Notre Dame. And we have Cal quarterback Davis Webb. He's going to put up numbers, but I don't think Cal's good enough to beat Texas. They just lost to San Diego State. I think Texas is a much better team. Anyways, that's it. Hopefully I do better this week. See ya.